What's up, guys? Welcome back to Weekly Weird News. News robots.
It was good.
Yeah.
So as if this year couldn't get any worse, from terrorism to police violence to violence against police to the current shit sandwich of an election to the current shit sandwich of a Summer Olympics to Harambe.
Rest in peace.
It looks like 2016 just added full-on nuclear war between the US and North Korea to its resume of shittiness.
Yeah.
That's right, people. The US has declared war on North Korea.
Well, that's, at least according to North Korea, always tells the truth. But since it's been a full week without hearing any combat or bombings, I'm starting to question North Korea's version of reality. Hell, even future President Donald Trump, who just really wants to know what it feels like to press that nuclear launch button, hey, even he has managed to not even acknowledge our current war with North Korea. And this is a man that will die if he runs out of things to talk about. It's like a shark that stops swimming.
Yeah.
It just sinks.
If I stop talking, I will die.
Yes.
So what's actually going on here? Well, last week, Han Song-ryol, who runs the U.S. Affairs Department of North Korea's Foreign Ministry, he talked to the Associated Press, and he had some pretty serious grievances to air out. For one thing, he says that the annual joint military exercises that U.S. and South Korean troops do as a sort of doomsday scenario team-building exercise has gone too far, and it's become way too openly aggressive. Which is nothing new. They bitch about this thing every year, probably because it looks like a lot of fun. And they just have to sit and watch the whole thing from afar with binoculars, wishing that they could join in.
Gah! But there's a new entry on North Korea's long, 6-decade-old list of reasons America's a big jerk. And it's the fact that last month, outgoing President Barack Obama decided to, for the first time ever, slap some diplomatic sanctions on glorious leader Kim Jong-un for his alleged involvement in human rights abuses against the North Korean people. Allegedly.
Who's to say?
The sanctions come in the wake of an official State Department report that lists Kim and several other North Korean officials as responsible for practices allegedly like forced labor, torture, and extrajudicial killings.
Yeah.
I got it out finally. Extrajudicial.
It is hard to say.
It's a tongue twister.
Like nuclear.
Nuclear.
So,
Nuclear.
what these sanctions do is
Spoilage.
freeze any assets in the United States that are owned by Kim Jong-un or his senior officials, and it makes it illegal for U.S. companies and citizens to do business with those individuals, which is something we would have assumed was already in place, but apparently not. Good to know. Regardless of whether it's effective or just symbolic, it's some great bait. And that's where we come back to the statements last week from the North Korean diplomat, which are always a joy.
The Obama administration went so far to have the impudence to challenge the supreme dignity of the DPRK in order to get rid of its unfavorable position during the political and military showdown with the DPRK. The United States has crossed the red line in our showdown. We regard this thrice-cursed crime as a declaration of war. Ooh, they like thrice? That's cool.
He continued, sounding more and more like a Metal Gear Solid, like, mid-tier boss character. Nobody can predict what kind of influence this kind of vicious confrontation between the DPRK and the United States will have upon the situation on the Korean Peninsula. By doing these kinds of vicious and hostile acts towards the DPRK, the US has already declared war against the DPRK. So it is our self-defensive right and justifiable action to respond in a very hard way.
I like this because Obama is basically doing to Kim Jong-un what the press has been doing to Donald Trump, trying to get a rise out of him. Yeah, he's just troll baiting. The statements also called the U.S. big fat hypocrites for not wanting North Korea to have nuclear weapons when it was the U.S. who invented them and actually used them against an enemy. It's simply not fair. Why does the U.S. get to drop 2 atom bombs on Japan and we can't? We hate the Japanese too. Anyways,
What the hell?
it's not fair. In conclusion, yes, North Korea is claiming that we've declared war on them even though we haven't, which is, it's par for the course every year around this time when North Korea gets annoyed about the upcoming U.S.-South Korea joint military exercises and wants to remind everyone that they're tough too.
Fight me IRL.
Yeah,
What'd you say, you little pussy?
I'll have you know. And then the whole 4chan
Yeah.
copy pasta.
So what's odd is that this time the story actually picked up some traction on social media, presumably by people that are too young to remember that North Korea pulls this shit on an annual basis. It's even funnier though because North Korea actually already officially responded to the US sanctions against Kim in early July when the sanctions were being declared, saying the exact same thing, that it was an open declaration of war, but that time it just kind of got lost in the news cycle. So they tried again a few weeks later, and the story finally caught on and got some traction.
This time.
Now they're paying attention.
Yeah. But very soon, North Korea is going to have a chance to show all their haters how great they really are, because it's finally happening, guys. The Rio Olympics are here.
Woo!
Woo! Yes, we're all excited. The only events they managed to qualify into, North Korea we're talking about here, are archery, table tennis, and shooting guns. But those are all very warlike events, and I'm sure that they'll do great in them, for sure. And for the first time ever, this year's North Korean Olympians might actually come home with a fresh appreciation for how great they have it in North Korea, because as we've been reminding you over the last few weeks, Rio is a mess.
Sad.
So
first off, the water's filthy.
Yep.
Everyone knows this already, sure, whatever. But how filthy is it? Well, experts are now saying that ingesting just 3 teaspoons of the water off the coast of Rio is basically guaranteed to cause a viral infection and get you potentially very sick. Because the viral measurements of that water are 1.7 million times what would be considered toxic in the United States or Europe.
Unless you live in Flint, Michigan.
They would have closed that beach and wouldn't let you go near it. But meanwhile in Rio, they're actually having major global sporting events in there.
It's gonna be fine.
In my opinion, they really should just change all the rules of the open water swimming events so that whoever has the highest white blood cell measurements a month after the race, they should get the gold medal.
Yeah.
It's an immune system race.
Yeah. The long-term race.
Yeah.
Who's gonna die of autoimmune deficiency disorder or cancer from competing in these events?
Who gives a shit who can swim faster? If you're really that tough, you can survive an extreme viral attack on your immune system.
Exactly. Now, meanwhile, like we told you last week, once Olympians started arriving in Rio, it quickly became apparent that the Olympic Village apartments that athletes are supposed to live in during the Olympics weren't actually ready to be lived in. Whoops. The Australians, who seem to be having the worst luck with their accommodations, can now add almost dying in a fire to their list of grievances, since the fire alarms in their section of the dorms just happened to not go off during a small fire that caused an evacuation.
Whoops.
The mayor of Rio, oh, you want to talk shit? How about I disconnect your fire alarm?
Yeah.
We're not saying he did that, but it would be funny if he did.
Not saying he did, not saying he didn't. Some people are saying it. I didn't say it.
We didn't say it. Some people out there in the media are saying it. I'm not saying it. I'm just agreeing with them. Anyways, they weren't even turned on. Whoops. But hey, I guess it worked out because they're all alive still.
Yeah, they had to knock on each other's doors and be like, hey, there's a fire. We got to get out of there.
Oi!
Like, oi! Why didn't I hear an alarm? Where's our kangaroo that's supposed to detect fires?
Let me get my Vegemite.
Yeah. They're all fine, though. It's all going fine, guys.
Everything's great.
It's fine. It's just the media twisting things around.
Yeah.
We have a Brazilian in our company who was defending these Olympics.
Hey, what do you think about the Olympics? I think it's great.
It's great.
It's great.
You guys just have a negative attitude about the whole thing.
I don't know what kind of accent.
I don't know.
That's what she said. Anyways.
Yeah, so over in the media village, where members of the press will be staying for the games, it's basically Sochi 2.0. If you remember the Sochi Olympics, they were having a great time.
Yeah, I wish they were.
Just pointing out how fucked up everything is.
Yeah.
So reporters have been sharing images on social media that show a real distinct lack of essential amenities like power outlets, furniture, water that actually runs, sinks, shower heads, and so on. And if you're wondering how the hell the millionaire NBA stars playing for the U.S. men's basketball team are dealing with all this, well, they're not, because they're living on a cruise ship that's docked nearby.
Good.
Which is actually nothing new. So apparently Team USA's men's basketball has not lived with the common folk in Olympic Village since the 1988 Olympics, which, surprise, were the last Olympics that didn't allow NBA players to participate. 92 was the Dream Teams. That's when they changed the rules. You can play if you're in the NBA, and they're like, sounds great. So where are we staying?
They're like the DoubleTree, the Best Western.
Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson. We're not staying there. We're gonna find our own.
We'll find a yacht.
Yeah,
or a cruise ship.
And they did.
Good. Now let's see what else we have here. So Chinese hurdling star Shi Dongpeng learned a Rio lesson right off the bat when he and one of his team's cameramen went to check into their hotel and were immediately vomited on by a drunk local who wandered up to them. Great. Shi went to go wipe himself off while the cameraman chased the vomiting man away, and sure enough, moments later when they returned to the check-in line, all of their luggage and camera equipment had been stolen.
Gah!
Gah! Well, the lesson here is that if a Brazilian pukes on you, just let it happen, because someone's gonna come up and steal all your stuff.
Yeah.
Classic Brazilian, what did they call it?
Misdirection.
Misdirection.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
It's a new one, though.
Go puke on that guy.
It's like more distressing than the old like European gypsy trick of like throwing a baby at you.
Yeah.
And you catch the baby and then they pull it out of your pocket, which is a real dirtbag thing to do.
Yeah.
This is smart because everyone's so like scared about their health down in Rio.
Getting puked on is
you're like,
terrifying.
oh God, I'm about to melt.
Yeah.
And pretty soon, I mean, you still have to deal with the potential.
Zika?
The Zika.
You get the Zika all
it's
over
still
you.
really bad, but they're also stealing from you at the same time. But in one last bit of embarrassment for the Rio Games, now that all the journalists are down there, we're getting an even better look at the day-to-day madness of the whole damn thing. And a great example of this came from BBC reporter Julia Carneiro, who on Wednesday tweeted a video showing workers having to use bolt cutters to break into one of the Olympic stadiums because the key was
We
lost.
lost the key to the stadium.
It's fine. We'll just break in. The tweet
The
reads,
key to the stadium. They only had one?
I guess.
One key to the stadium.
Well, it was for the bolt to the gate.
The stadium.
Well, to get into the stadium, yes, you would need to get through this one gate.
Why would they? There's no fail-safes?
They could have. Yeah, the failsafe was the
The
bolt
bolt
cutters.
Oh, sure.
But yeah, the caption for the tweet: "What a start! Hashtag Rio 2016 kicking off with lost key and firemen forcing open lock to east gate of Olympic Stadium. Hashtag oops."
They should do what Khaled does and get one of those major keys, and then they won't lose it because it's so big.
Yeah,
That'd be fine.
major key.
Major key. Then they won't lose it. Anyways, if you guys are interested, tomorrow is the opening ceremony. We were gonna live stream it. We can't. There's too much fucking shit we have to do.
too many.
But we are gonna be watching it and probably live tweeting it. It starts tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific, so that's what 1 p.m. or 7 p.m. Eastern. 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m.
Yeah.
Pacific. That's the. Don't know if anything
whole
crazy gonna happen
ceremony.
there, but that's the big.
Apparently,
it's supposed to be the
Giselle
most
Bundchen is going to be like
assaulted.
or
Yeah.
something. I don't know if that's what they're saying.
Yeah, they did like the run
People
through.
are saying this.
The media's out there saying it. I'm just repeating it. No, yeah. So it's supposed to be like a huge moment for the country and the city specifically.
Yeah, every
that
time
hosting
it's a
the
big
games.
ceremony.
The London one was
Yeah.
beautiful.
Directed by Danny Boyle. Not
Yeah.
sure who's directing this one.
Beijing was great.
Yeah.
They had all those people on drums.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mean those people, but it was a lot of people. It's a lot of people on drums.
Those people with their little drums.
So let's see what Brazil has tomorrow, right? Or today, because this is going to be going up Friday morning. So tonight at 4 o'clock, 4 o'clock Friday, Pacific, opening ceremony.
You know, just check your local listing.
Check your local listing.
And it's all going to be on NBC.com here in the U.S.
Yeah, just stream it
all on
online.
the internet. Anyway, that's your weekly Kim Jong-un and Rio de
Yeah.
Janeiro news. Let's go over to the headlines because there's some pure gold headlines this week from real news outlets, starting with, it's so hot in New York that manure is bursting into flames.
Yeah, so I was there this past weekend and it was miserable. It did start raining, so it cooled down a lot, but it was just oppressive.
New York in the summer
it's terrible.
It's bad. Like, LA gets hot, like,
It's a
uncomfortably
dry
hot,
heat.
But it's a dry heat.
Yeah.
And, yeah, the
New York is a sauna.
East Coast summer is, ugh,
And
gross.
I went there, I like, hit up a bunch of friends. I'm like, hey, I'm coming into town this weekend. They're like, yeah, no one's here.
we're outta here.
No one's here on the weekends. We're
Yeah.
only here to work, and then we leave to more temperate climates.
That's awful. Everything's just sticky and sticky.
Well, now manure's catching on fire. The
this
worst
is
part.
upstate New York.
This
too.
is in upstate?
Yeah, this is
Or
like
it-
Syracuse.
In New York City, it's bad too because all the, like, I'm not saying there's trash all over the streets in New York City, but sometimes when the people are coming to get it, trash bags are out on the streets, and it fucking just boils in there, and it just
Hot trash.
stinks. Yeah, hot garbage. But it was good seeing you, Ivan, at New York Beer Company.
Yeah, I'm sorry I
enjoyed
missed you.
stopping by. Anyways, next headline.
An after-school Satan club could be coming to your kid's elementary school. Yes, even in Utah.
I like that they put that little part on the end.
Because it's a local story from Utah.
Good.
And they're like, oh my God, oh my pearls.
If you want freedom of religion, then you got to do it.
That's the whole thing. Like, most people don't realize, but the Church of Satan, it's actually a like freedom of religion atheist advocacy group. They don't actually worship Satan.
Yeah.
They're all atheists, but they use Satan as just like sort of something to prove a point.
Yeah, it's an example of the ability to do that.
Yeah, it's like that courthouse in Arkansas. I can't remember
The one
which
that put the
state.
10 Commandments inside?
Yeah, the one they put the Ten Commandments in there, and so the Church of Satan, they're like, well, okay, if you're going to show preference to Christianity and Judaism by this, you have to be able to accept all religions. So they successfly petitioned to get a statue of Baphomet there, and it's there to this day.
Good.
Because like that's the law. So the after school Satan thing, they're going after public schools in America that allow after-school, like, officially sanctioned Christian prayer groups and stuff. And they're like, well, if you're going to do that, you have to allow after-school Satan Club, which would just be, like, probably going on,
hanging out and drinking Kool-Aid and stuff.
Yeah.
Not the Kool-Aid,
and,
the
like,
Kool-Aid.
going over, like, the I fucking love science, like, Facebook page.
Yeah, just like, oh, man,
Yeah.
Bork Bork, you're doing me a frighten. Oh, I
Yeah.
love this Facebook group.
Yeah.
Big, great meetings. Great meetings. Man arrested after throwing batarang at police car.
Yeah.
Captain Batarang.
He made a little dent in it,
That's it.
but they arrested him. Yeah.
You can't throw stuff at cops.
Police showed up because he was threatening some dude on the street with a stick that had a knife attached to it. The city is
This
Seattle.
man's just making his own weapons?
Yeah.
Oh, it's in Seattle?
Yeah,
They got all those superheroes up there.
Well,
so they probably have some supervillains.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they got those guys that walk the
The
street.
supervillains are the homeless people.
Yeah.
Who are the most aggressive homeless people I've ever met in my life.
They're specifically mean in Seattle.
They're very aggressive.
Yeah. I love the guys here. They're wonderful people.
They're fun.
For the most part.
They're fun.
Woman leaves dogs in car. Dogs crash it into Walmart. Good, finally.
Yeah.
Finally, the dogs are getting some comeuppance.
Yeah.
I like this story.
Well, she tried to do everything right. She left the car turned on with the AC on
Oh,
so their
perfect.
dogs wouldn't die.
Yeah.
Because so many people leave their dogs in the car in the summer, and that's how dogs die.
Yeah.
And babies. People
Just
still
leave 'em
make
at
the same
home.
mistake. Yeah. So, I mean, she left the car on, left the windows a little bit open, left the AC on. The dogs were like, lady, not good enough.
And they hit it, the fucking gas. They aimed it towards the Walmart and they screamed, Harambe! Yeah. As they smashed through children all the way
Fight
up to
the
the front
system.
gates. Yeah. Harambe!
We're still not over Harambe.
Yeah.
He was just a gorilla.
Yeah. Anyways, London to get coffee and fellatio cafe. They just had the naked cafe. Was it that successful?
I don't know. This is a separate thing where you'd buy coffee.
And get a fellatio?
And then-
one fellatio, please.
They'd set it up. I think it's like every table would have like a trap door where. So you go in, you buy your
Who
coffee.
is blowing you?
You have like an iPad.
A menu? You
Yeah,
don't know
you have-
who's blowing
You
you.
have a menu with all the hot babes who definitely aren't dudes who would be blowing you under the table. You choose them, and then they pop up, and they.
Do you see their face so you know that it's...
I mean, I'm sure if you can peek down there.
Also,
like,
who's
oh,
going to
hey.
a coffee shop and slipping their dick into a table?
I don't know. So this guy, the genius behind this, he's already he's setting one up in Switzerland,
Oh, yeah.
where prostitution fully legal.
Yeah.
It's all above the board over there. London, I don't know. Like prostitution is actually legal in the UK, but
you got to go one of those like Asian massage places, you know?
well, brothels are illegal.
Yeah.
So you can have an escort in the UK. But even then, the laws are weird. Basically, you don't punish the prostitute, you punish the organized crime aspect of it. So they're trying to figure out how to do that in this case. But yeah, if the idea of drinking hot coffee while someone sucks your dick under a table in a public place sounds like a good idea.
That
to you,
sounds like a great idea
Yeah.
to me. I don't know.
whoa.
I'm excited to go back to Amsterdam because I love window shopping there. And it's even better that I'm going with my girlfriend this time so I can just be like, look at all the fetishes you
Oh
can
my
have.
God, is that what you like?
No, she'll
Is that what you like?
She'll think it's hilarious.
I don't know. It kind of just makes me sad. Also, there's something about like prostitute fashion in places like Amsterdam and Hamburg.
It's perpetually living in the early 90s.
Yeah, it's just like these fucking giant clear stiletto things.
Take it from Elliot.
And,
Update your fashion.
like latex. Yeah, it's all very like 80s, and it just makes me realize that these are probably women who moved there from Eastern Europe with like 2 cents to their name and are
Yeah.
doing it just to like support their families. And
Sure,
it just makes
it's
it makes
sad.
the whole thing depressing.
It's sad, yeah.
I like to think that the prostitutes are having fun, but it ruins the illusion.
The one that I saw that was having a lot of fun, and I want to go back and see it, is in the window. It was this woman. She was gigantic, but she was owning it. That was the
Yeah,
fetish.
yeah.
And she was eating in the window. She was eating an ice cream cone and like letting it drip all over her.
Good for her.
Yeah, just embracing it.
It's very body positive of the red light district.
And I
to
guarantee
let that
there's a
happen.
lot of businessmen that go in there. That's what they want.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought of the one thing, the most harmless thing in the world, and here she is.
It is, I don't know, it's something everyone should see.
Go to Amsterdam. It's great.
It's wild.
Before you can't travel anymore.
Yeah.
It's fun. They already like banned pot there or whatever, unless you're like a local.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, it's not hard.
Yeah, it's not hard, but
You literally.
back
there's-
when I went for the first time, it was like,
Oh,
and
it
that
was-
was back when I was smoking a fuck ton of
Yeah.
weed, and it was like it was better than Disneyland. It was like, oh yeah, you go to the Bulldog and you smoke a bunch of weed, and it's
Bulldog's
like,
garbage.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's the touristy
Bulldog's
place.
the McDonald's of coffee
It's
shops.
exactly what it is. And then when you spend more time there and you start talking to people, like, oh, you gotta go to like, I forget the one I went to was called like the Blue Dolphin. He's like, gotta go to the Blue Dolphin, and you go there and it's like fucking incredible. But
Half
now
those places, when I went, there was 300 of them. Now I think there's like 40. So I studied abroad in Dusseldorf, Germany.
what was their name?
On the west coast, and on the west side of Germany, about 90 minutes to Amsterdam.
yeah.
And in the 4 months I was there, I probably went to Amsterdam 7 times.
Oh yeah,
It's
it's
just
great.
my usual weekend getaway. It's like, I got a rail pass, so just go over to Amsterdam.
It's a
and
completely different
have a good
experience,
time.
especially back then because it wasn't as prolific in California. But
Yeah.
it was a completely different experience, just getting high and everyone being cool with
Yeah,
it.
it was
like,
like,
yeah, I'm gonna
oh,
go to the
shit.
Van Gogh Museum. It's gonna be fucking great.
The world isn't collapsing around me.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see how it is. I'll report back once I go.
Yeah, I'm real curious.
and see if the pot is still like cool there. I don't smoke as much here at all. I don't think I've smoked at all even this year. But you know, when you're there,
When in Amsterdam,
have a brownie.
they used
smoke
to
a
straight
joint.
up sell mushrooms.
Oh yeah. Oh,
I
got
bought
a great,
bunch of those.
I got a great story
you
about that.
can't get those anymore.
Our fucking bus driver. This is back when I was still on tour. Sorry, everyone, sit down. We're still on tour, and the bus driver fucking started. We had days off in Amsterdam, so he got a bunch of fucking mushrooms.
And they're good. They're fresh.
Oh yeah,
Not
then
dried
they
out.
work.
Yeah.
And so he ate the mushrooms, and then like he had to drive the bus like the next day, and so he's still fucking feeling it probably, and he got in a bus accident. We all almost died.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was crazy. And like this is back when Wes Borland was still touring with us. So Wes Borland from Limp Bizkit like almost fucking fought the guy. He was so upset. He got him fired immediately, and they had to drive a new bus driver out.
It's very irresponsible.
It's incredibly irresponsible.
He shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
I'm with Wes Borland.
Yeah.
I'm with him.
I side with Borland.
Yeah.
Yeah. He has a show on DIY now. He repairs houses or he fixes up
In
houses in Detroit. Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah. Hi, Wes.
Oh.
Anyways,
Oh,
moving
shit,
on.
We're still doing the show.
Yeah.
We're not just hanging out.
Yeah. The Weekly Weird podcast.
Canadian shopkeepers are baffled by a spate of extremely weird mannequin thefts.
It's people fucking them.
Probably. This has been happening all
Mannequins
over.
are sexy. Let's put that out there. They're
people-
very sexy.
People, they come into the shops.
They're
like,
perfectly formed.
yeah, you just gotta drill a hole. But
Yeah. Drill a hole, stuff it with a towel.
stuff some Jello in there.
Yeah.
and-
Just wet the towel down, put a condom on.
yeah.
There you go.
These
Right?
shopkeepers are showing up and they're like, "Oh, the window's broken. My laptop's still here. The cash register's not been
There's
tampered
jizz
with,
everywhere.
but all my mannequins are gone, and it keeps happening, and no one can figure out why.
The mannequins are coming to life and breaking out.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's either that or they're getting fucked,
Well, yeah. Sure. There you go.
or maybe both.
It could be both.
The mannequins, they're breaking out,
And
so
they're
they
going
can
to
get
fuck.
fucked.
Yeah.
That's my theory.
Yeah.
We're gonna look into it. Pony breaks into a pub and gets drunk and then is coaxed out with crisps, which I
Good.
think are what they call chips. But they call chips fries.
No, they don't.
Fries
Fries or chips.
Fries are chips, crisps.
Potato wedges, aren't
Fries are chips are crisps. Yeah, I think that's right. Anyway, a Shetland pony, a cute little Shetland pony, broke into a pub in Scotland.
Yeah.
And they're like, "All right, buddy, come out and eat some crisps."
I like that it got drunk, though. It's like that duck, but then the duck got bit by a dog. Where is that
Yeah,
duck?
how's that duck
I
doing?
wonder how the duck's
I
doing.
hope he's doing all right.
Let us know how the duck's doing.
Yeah.
Restaurant owner dumpster diving for deer parts, accused of selling them in New York City. I mean, deer is not something that people don't eat.
Yeah, well, but when you go to like a deer farm and
Get the scraps.
you're getting scraps out of the dumpster and then you're taking them to the Chinese restaurant that you own and putting it in people's food without notifying them
A delicacy.
that it's essentially like
A
roadkill.
delicacy.
I mean, deer's good. Deer jerky, delicious.
Delicious.
But, you know,
You gotta follow the law.
There are rules about food
Yeah.
and how to handle it and what is considered healthy
Here's the
and
thing,
safe.
Elliot, if we get fucking, what's his name, the libertarian guy, Johnson?
Gary John, he'll let you eat
He'll
anything.
let you eat whatever you want. Get
Yeah.
whatever deer parts you want out of the dumpster and put them in your slop because there's no regulation.
He has a lot of Chinese restaurant owners supporting his
Yeah,
candidacy.
no, his plan is to be like, well, if they serve a bunch of dumpster deer, then people will get sick and die, and then other people won't
The
eat that anymore.
market will sort itself
it'll
out.
sort itself out like that.
If the restaurant kills people, people will stop eating there
Yeah,
and they'll go out of
exactly.
business.
Yeah.
The market just solved the problem.
Sure, it might take a little longer.
And sure, people had to die.
die for it, but it's just like the Harambe thing. Let him kill one kid.
Yeah.
And then, if he actually kills the kid, then you can shoot him next time. Yeah.
That's a call back and call forward.
Call forward to the
our
podcast. There you go.
Woman recording video of gun mistakenly shoots her phone, investigators say. Snapchat ruining the kids. She was like, oh, look at me, I'm pow, and then shot the gun and it fucked up her hand too.
Yeah, good. Did the video post?
I don't know. But it happened in Florida, so she went to the hospital. They're like, how'd this happen?
Fixed her up, gave her gun back.
Yeah.
There you go.
They're like, how did this happen? She's like, well, I shot my gun while I was in her hand. They're like, that's fine. No charges.
No
Have
charges.
a good day.
Good.
Have a good day.
Everyone makes
Don't
mistakes.
change anything about how you live your life.
No, everyone makes mistakes. It's
It
fine.
happens to the best of us.
Yeah. Anyways, teen trying to take picture of lightning gets struck by lightning.
He's fine, though. He was on his bike.
Made
It
of
saved
irony.
him. His bike absorbed the
The
ground
rubber
in-
on the there you go.
He's just like,
The-
oh man, that was fucking sick. I mean, in retrospect, it was pretty awesome.
The safest place you can be in a lightning storm is the car. It's got those rubber tires.
Yeah,
Safe and sound.
yeah,
So there you go.
yeah. Just stay in the car on a bike. Don't go outside ever.
I love this next one because I've been to
Yeah, this
many a Bass
This
Nectar
is
concert.
so good.
Angry residents thought Bass Nectar concert was an earthquake, and it fucking feels like it inside.
It's not called
been to, like-
treble nectar.
Yeah,
it's bass nectar,
I've
baby.
been to like 4 Bass Nectar concerts. One of the best shows I've ever seen.
I want to see him badly.
It's fantastic.
He's one of the few EDM artists I have yet to see.
He's been doing it for way longer than the
Yeah.
EDM boom in America.
He's been
too.
around for a while.
Yeah, I saw him at Lollapalooza in 2009 or 2008 or 9 or something like that. That was like my first experience with actual like heavy bass music in a live show. It
He
was
creates
great.
an earthquake.
Yeah.
It's the only way to truly properly enjoy
Good.
it.
If you're not hitting the Richter scale at an EDM show, what's the point?
Some guy, like a quarter mile away, he had a decibel meter and he measured it at like 70 decibels, like inside his house.
Whatever.
Deal with it.
Yeah. Deal
Or
with
I don't know. I'm gonna be that old man someday. So.
it. Yeah, you already are.
Deal with it by going and talking to your local city councilman.
No, then it ruins the fun for everyone.
No, the people, they already got the concert.
Yeah, whatever.
It's just one little town in Colorado. Bass Nectar can still do this everywhere else. Going
All
from
those
town to
damn-
town.
Those damn pot smokers loving their Bass Nectar.
Yeah. And
Anyway.
finally, the most ridiculous headline of the week. Wendell Lira, FIFA award winner, retires from football to focus on video game career. Esports is the new sports. This guy is retiring from playing soccer
For real.
to play digital soccer professionally.
Yeah, there's more money in it, I'm sure.
There is, and he's like, I keep getting injured. It sucks. Like,
Yeah.
I love playing FIFA the game, and I don't get injured. It's way easier. I don't have to do all this traveling. I don't have to deal with all these doctors and all these other people. Mm-hmm. I mean,
I'm sure he'll retain some of his sponsorships too.
Yeah,
There you
probably.
go.
Good for him.
Yeah, good for you. Anyways, that's it for Weekly Weird News this week. Check out other content over here. We have just a mess of Suicide Squad and Donald Trump news that you can check out. And don't forget, tonight, a brand new episode of Tugs. Tomorrow we got News Dump. And then a podcast with our friend Hal Rudnick from Screen Junkies on Sunday.
Groovy, baby. And watch the Olympics.
Yeah. it's gonna
We'll be
great.
watching.